The player has the option to hang on other objects. It's similar to the other ones in terms of how it's set up, is that you can override another object to say yes you can hang or no you can't, and override the speeds and the directions and movements and things. For the player, the hanging option on this one, notice there are multiple different directions on hang. You can hang above, left, right, and left and right. Think of this as like a wall climb that you can grab to the side of a wall, you can climb up it. Same thing as you can also grab an object below you and hang on the floor and move across it. So this can be 4 directions that you can go on with the hang currently. If the hang was set up like this one is, we'll go through some of the basic options, but just as a example of use, we'll place in a couple of hang tiles here. So if I was to place a hang tile going across, and then we'll place one, how about we put one a little bit further over to the side here, and then we'll put one over on this side. Actually, just to make this easier, we'll do a single one and then just scale it up. Alright. I'll move those up. So just kind of a simple setup here, but one that hopefully will give us an option to test out the features. Let's place a floor to finish off this, and we'll do a backing there. Alright, so if we push play on this one, we're going to test out the top and the sides. We could do the bottom as well. I should probably put one on there for us on that. So by default, I'll have to double check if it's overridden or not for the hang tiles. But when you're on it, you have the option to move. You can do a fast move, so I'm looking fast, moving fast. You can look around in all 8 directions. If you get off of it, you go out of your regular hanging. 2 types of hanging. I can do a hang where I jump to the other one by just simply pushing the button the direction I'm facing. If I use the key, so I'm going to look this way and I'm going to jump, that means that I'm going to use my player's jump speed. So the player's jump speed is set really low, just to show a difference between jumping to another one and actually using the player jump speed to move left and right. So you have 2 different ways of jumping 2 objects. You can also, when you connect to an object, based on where the trigger is, will be when the player starts to move towards the object. You have a speed at which they connect. But you can also, if I was to say, if I jump up and hold the space bar, then he actually will go through the hang and drop down below it. If you jump and let go of the space bar, he'll grab back onto the one that he was, the closest one he's at that point. That way you can do multi-tiered ones where you can jump up and then jump through it and grab the second one or something similar to that. The last thing as well is if you want to drop down, you can actually just look down and push the space bar, and you'll drop down from any of the ones you're currently holding on to. Alright, so this is going to be the standard setup for how the player moves and reacts to a hanging element. And remember, the hanging element, even like this, could actually be hidden so that it looks like, we'll do that real quick so you can see it, where it can actually look like it's just simply a wall that's there. So if I was to say hide on this one, when the player actually jumps on it now, it looks like it's just a wall. So now I jump, and then if you want, you can move the trigger point, his little placement point. You move it a little bit more over so it looks like it hits this wall. But then all of a sudden, you've actually got the character animating, climbing up the wall, down the wall. And when we get through to the properties, you'll see that you can actually you can set the player up to do things like start sliding down after an amount of time that he can only hold for a certain amount of time, things like that. Alright, so there's kind of just an overview of all the setup for it, and we'll go through all the properties and get comfortable with it.